Hi, welcome. We're starting week 3 now. The written assignment is due September 28th. I put it up on the site. I've passed it out in class. And if you, for some reason, you don't have the written assignment, be sure to contact me immediately so I can send you one. But it's also up on our class website in a couple of places too. Presentations are due week 6. I've been in touch with everybody. Thank you for your patience and forbearance on that. I think everybody's got a topic they like. And if you want to get a 1-week extension from week 6 to week 7, early in week 7, then let me know, and so I can put that in my planning. Formal posts for the second half of the alphabet, that'll be the first formal post, are due Monday evening, September 14th. Okay, here we go. I mentioned that development-resistant national cultures again because I really think that Harrison article assigned the very first week, it's a library reserve, easy to get, just click it and you'll get it. It's very helpful. I hope you find it useful and also in the mainstream of some of the material that we're studying. These are the assigned readings and viewings, triple package, we're starting that. And it's really, many people who read that when it first came out last year were astonished by the boldness with which these authors make this case of the 9 cultural groups that seem to be far more successful in the United States. And I happen to be a member of one of the cultural groups that isn't in there, Irish Catholics. So I'm interested in it, and a lot of other people are too. So let's see how you think. What do you think about it? They give extensive data for their point of view. So you check it out. It's not meant to be doctrinal at all. It's just meant to be out there so you can examine a very interesting cultural perspective. The Montanero article also available with one click from the library section of the website. That's about elites. A couple of the students in this class are so interested in that subject they're going to write a broader. He's about elites in Latin America, but it's interesting. Much broader context. He says there's 6 different kinds of elites, and they include every part of the culture, including education. The Wealth Report, I don't know how to classify that document, but I know you're going to find it interesting because it is about exactly what its title says. It tells you about how wealthy, it's not just about the difference between rich and poor, it's more about the rich. But see what you think about it. Richer Florida's The World is Spiky is, I think, a really interesting article, and I'd like to take you on a quick excursion just so we examine his basic perspective. Okay, here it is. Here's the first page of the article, and I think that you can see by the size of these little skyscrapers that dot the various continents. That's basically meant to be the, you might call it the intellectual capital of the world. And he, instead of being the world is flat, which is what the title of Friedman's famous book, you notice that there's not, there's a lot of spikiness in it, that most of these centers of intellectual activity are in very small locations, a lot of it in each location, but that's his theme, basically, that the spikiness is a very interesting characteristic and sometimes a misunderstood characteristic. And so it definitely fits into the theme of our course. So I hope you enjoy it. He was one of our professors here some years ago, a delightful person to have on our staff. It was really a pleasure knowing Richard Florida. Now, the Protestant ethic is a subject that definitely fits in this course, and we used to spend a fair amount of time on it. So what I did instead was to put this brief lecture by a professor whose specialty, at least a partial specialty that is, and I think you'll find it interesting, and it explains it pretty nicely. And then later on we can use it as a context for other discussions we're going to have. The Hans Rossing presentation, it's only 4 minutes, but I hope it blows you away when you, if you haven't seen it before, because it discusses the Gapminder technology, which any of us can learn. 2 of the students in this class are actually going to be doing a presentation on Gapminder, and it's a way of describing national data, regional data, even continental data in very, very specific ways and in trends over 250 years. And it's just a fascinating tool. And of course, in his hands, it's even more interesting. So I hope you enjoy it. And then this brief 60 minutes presentation, El Sistema, it's about a cultural phenomenon in Latin America that has not been able to be duplicated so well anyplace else, and yet the location of it and the success of it are sort of surprising, because Venezuela is a country that is having its difficulties right now, and always has in the last many decades had some difficulties in spreading freedom around. And this particular example shows a way that the principles of freedom and the principles of hard work can be instilled early in a very poor population. I hope you like it. And finally, a lot of you are going to say, well, this professor's gone crazy. Why is he including this gigantic 100-slide report? Why is he including that report as part of our reading this time? And the answer is because it's the absolute best report there is on culture, on the T part of culture, organization, and technology. Part of it involves projecting the changes in 20 years in technology. This is one slide. I'm only going to show you one other one. In terms of mobile phone users, 1995, there were 1% of the population and 80 million, and now it is 5.2 billion. 73% of the entire population of the world is using mobile phones. That's a pretty amazing number. And the other one I wanted to show you just happens to follow that one. This is a public internet company's market capitalization from at 1995 and then in 2015. The total market capitalization of public companies in the IT business in 1995 was 16 billion, and today, as you can see, it's 2.4 trillion. Apple is the only company that was on both lists, and they were second and now they're first. So it's a pretty amazing company in that respect. Their total valuation is close to it's over $750 billion. So that's really something. So I hope you find that an interesting aspect of this. I think we're moving well. If you'll just get in this kind of rhythm, putting in a lot of posts every week. Remember, 4 is the minimum. That's to get a B in the course, posts, and most of you are putting in more than that, which is what I'm hoping for. And more importantly than just the volume of them, they're interesting. They have a lot of links from time to time in your posts, and it looks to me like you're really participating in the course, and I appreciate it a lot. Look forward to interacting with you again next week. Thank you. Bye.